Morning everybody. Welcome to another episode of Quoth the Camser. Quothing at you today from the field of gold. 7:30 in the morning with Clovey the Basset. I'm putting this out on video as well. I'm recording it on my iPhone because that's all I've got. Almost brought my little bum bag with my voice recorder, but I thought, no, I'm not feeling up to it, so I won't. And here we are, still not feeling up to it and doing it anyway, as a means of connecting to source through creativity, the creative act, that wonderful thing that Rick Rubin talks about in his book with that title, which I would urge anyone watching this to read, along with another book by Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art. Those two books together can set you free, particularly when it comes to imposter syndrome, that thing that prevents us from creating anything. And I believe strongly that connecting to source is something that one can do through the creative act. So picking up your pen, picking up your keyboard, your guitar, your iPhone, and seeing what comes out. That's what my goal is. And I have to say it's working. I'm finding sobriety. I might start using that word. And I'll tell you why. I mean, first and foremost, this is a recovery channel. I'm sober now, coming up 18 years. When I say sober, what I mean is I haven't picked up a drink in 18 years. Alcohol was the substance that I turned to through most of my life, actually, still through the majority of my life, because I've drank for longer than I've been sober so far. But sobriety's, I won't say it's coming to mean something else. It means something else and has done for a while to me, which is living in alignment with my values, now that I know what they are. Because sobriety wasn't just broken by picking up alcohol, although that seems to be the meaning that it's come to have in society. But for me, sobriety means living in alignment with my values and not self-soothing with substance abuse or bad behaviour, which is something that I still do. So when I say I've been sober for 18 years, it's not entirely aligned with my thinking. What I mean to say is I haven't picked up alcohol for almost 18 years. So now that I've cleared that up, I can look around and just enjoy this, what I call the field of gold. Because that's what it is. It's a beautiful field, 5 minutes from my house, where I bring clover in the mornings. And of course it's Scotland, so it's not always windless and sunny like it is today. Conditions that allow me to whip out my phone and record, when normally the wind would be such that the audio would be ruined. So I can enjoy today. What a great way to start the day this is. And it does also mean I'm going to get to sit outside and do my other creative act, which it's become a daily habit now, where I sit outside when the conditions are favourable and I write 2 pages in my journal, which then go out on my Substack and on my cross-posted newsletter over at camscampbell.com. And that's the thing I've been doing now for at least a year, possibly 2. I was trying to work it out yesterday, but Substack has a bit of a difficult back end. It's a bit difficult to change, add tags to old posts and stuff in bulk, like you can do in WordPress. So I'm not sure, but it was possibly 2 years or longer. I've been doing it most days. I try and do it every day, and some days just you're travelling or whatever and it doesn't work out. But this week, you might hear in my voice, I've had a pretty bad cold. My voice is shot and I've kept the habit going. And that's the thing about habits, is finding a way to show up and do the thing as often as possible, even when you don't feel like doing the thing. And that helps with the kind of creative bursts that I seem to go through where I'm all or nothing. That's no way to win at content creation. All or nothing doesn't work. It's got to be systematised so that you can find a way to show up even when you don't want to. So that's where habits come in. Good habits. That's why I write every day. That's why I start my day out that way. After I've done this bit with the dog in the field of gold. And then I get on with my day. So generally, if I'm feeling good, it goes well. It goes without saying. If I'm not feeling good, chances are that once I finish writing, I'm going to feel better. And doubly so if I can find the wherewithal to make a video or record a podcast. So that tells me that it's worth doing. And so I continue. And I don't make videos as often as I would like. That was an experiment of doing daily video diaries where I would just turn the camera on in my studio at my desk because it's set up that way. We'll get to that in a minute. And I would just talk, see what came out, and post, and not worry too much about how what I made was going to be received because I can't control that. Simply through the act, just to see what would come out. And I do it now and again. I just couldn't get into the daily habit of it. And that was partly because of how long it would take for the process and how it was taking time away from my work. So I don't do it as often as I would like, but if I could find a way of making this my work so that by doing this creative act more often and have it actually bring in some revenue through Google AdSense or whatever it might be over on YouTube, or sponsorships on my podcast, I don't know. If this were my work would be to show anyone out there struggling how to become a creative person, even when the odds are against you, you don't feel like it, you're struggling with imposter syndrome. The creative act can be a path to sobriety. I believe that firmly. And my studio setup, I've got my camera rigged on a boom clamp, actually. It's a blue compass boom arm, which is on my desk permanently, along with a microphone. So if I want to stream or record, all I've got to do is turn the camera on, turn round, switch on a light and talk. Because I know that if I have to go through a complicated setup process, chances are it's not going to happen. So that's why I do that. Now, a bit later today, I'm going to be recording a podcast episode with Nate Kelly, he's got a podcast called, is it Sobriety Diaries, I think? And I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but more excited, I think, than nervous to do it, and just to have a conversation with another person in recovery. I haven't done that for a while, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm connecting a bit more with other people on Substack as well, because I got my Substack post, or my Substack shared by another recovery writer called Dana Lee Lyons. Thank you, Dana, if you're watching this. And she has done a listicle with another 49 recovery blogs on Substack. So I'm going to start connecting more on there. I'm going to go through my old posts and tag them all with morning pages, so that then I will know how far back they go and it'll be easier to find for anyone who wants to look through old posts and see my progress. Maybe there's improvement, I don't know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm actually ready to lean more into the recovery space and become more networked, I suppose, because that's something that's been missing since I quit going to meetings, the AA meetings. So that's what my day looks like. Podcast interview, eh? And it might inspire me to make this podcast a bit more collaborative as well. Watch this space. If I can find the courage to do that, I think I would enjoy it. It's just the idea of the hustle of reaching out to people and stuff. I'm not that great at that. But I could get better at it. I don't have to be great, I just have to be better than I am if I want to bring more people on, have conversations around their recovery and learn from them as well. So that's me. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll speak to you later. Bye.